Welcome to AI and Health and Wealth. I'm Kimberly. I'm so glad you're here with me today as we dive into how to truly flex your financial and physical muscles. Before we get started, if you're a regular viewer and you love what we do here, please take a moment to check if you've hit that subscribe button. It's a simple, free way to help us keep bringing you this education, and I promise to keep fighting harder every single month to bring you the conversations you want to hear. Now remember, what we share here is based on personal experience and opinion. It's for informational purposes, so always seek qualified professional guidance for your unique situation. Today, I want to talk about a turning point in human history. Picture this. You wake up, check the headlines, and it feels like two different worlds are moving at once. In one world, mortgage rates are easing and buyers are starting to get a little leverage back. In the other, researchers are using AI to chase down diseases and drug-resistant bacteria that have haunted medicine for decades. Today, we're connecting those dots because whether it's your home or your health, the theme is the same. Small numbers and quiet signals can change everything.
And the tricky part is that both worlds can make you overconfident. When rates dip, people think, now's the time, I can relax. When you hear about AI breakthroughs, you think, great, science has it covered. But what actually protects you is the opposite. Staying alert, asking better questions, and not rushing past the details.
Let's start with housing, because the numbers are finally giving people a little breathing room. The average 30-year fixed mortgage rate is hovering around 6.32%. And if you're looking at a 15-year fixed, you're seeing something like 5.68%. That's not the rock-bottom era people still daydream about, but compared to the peaks we've seen lately, it's a noticeable shift.
There's the plot twist. Lower rates don't automatically mean a safer decision. Some markets are tilting toward buyers, sure. More listings, more price reductions, more negotiating power, but a buyer's market can still punish you if you sprint into a deal with your eyes half closed.
Exactly. A buyer's market can tempt you into thinking you can win by moving quickly. But speed is where expensive mistakes hide. Skipping inspection protections, ignoring neighborhood factors, assuming you'll refinance later no matter what, those moves sound fine in the moment and feel brutal 6 months later.
So if someone's listening right now and thinking, okay, but what can I control? The cleanest lever is your credit. There's a number that keeps coming up if you want the very best mortgage terms. A FICO score of 780 or higher. Not good, not pretty good. That top tier where lenders treat you like the lowest risk borrower in the room. And it matters. Because a small change in rate doesn't feel dramatic on paper. But across a 30-year loan, tiny differences can add up to a mountain of money. That's why that magic score matters, because it can be the difference between a payment you handle and a payment that quietly crowds out everything else you want to do.
Now here's where the story turns from buying to staying. A lot of homeowners aren't moving at all. A study found more than 70% of homeowners are planning to renovate in the next 2 years. Instead of chasing a new address, they're trying to make the current one work, which makes sense. If you're sitting on a low existing mortgage rate from years ago, moving can feel like trading a bargain for a burden. So people are asking, what if we redo the kitchen, add a bathroom, finish the basement, make the home fit our lives instead of relocating our lives to fit a new home? But there's a snag: financing. A lot of people know what they want to build, but they're fuzzy on how to pay for it. Do you use savings, a home equity loan, a line of credit? Do you roll it into some form of refinance? The confusion is real, and it's where people can accidentally take on the wrong kind of debt for the wrong kind of project.
And while we're talking about risk, there's one data point that's like a pulse check for the mortgage world: delinquencies. Recently, that rate fell to about 3.35%. That's a sign more borrowers are keeping up with payments, even while the market keeps shifting.
It's also a reminder that the market isn't just headlines about prices and rates. It's millions of households managing cash flow. When delinquencies drop, it suggests the system is holding steadier, at least for now.
Now, something big is changing behind the scenes too: how creditworthiness gets measured. Freddie Mac has started securitizing loans that use newer credit scoring models, like VantageScore 4.0. That may sound like inside baseball, but it's a big deal for accessibility. Because the score you're used to isn't the only way to judge borrower health. Modern scoring can look at patterns differently and potentially paint a more accurate picture of someone's ability to repay. In plain English, it could help some borrowers who look worse on older systems but are actually reliable.
And speaking of systems expanding, real estate data is stretching beyond local boundaries. A deal between MRAD and Compass is opening private listing networks to agents across the country. It's like taking information that used to live in a neighborhood clubhouse and putting it on a national bulletin board, which could change how agents spot trends and opportunities. Instead of being trapped in a local bubble, only seeing what your region sees, you can compare markets, understand inventory shifts, and maybe advise clients with a wider lens.
Okay, so that's the housing side. Rates easing, a buyer's market vibe in some places, credit score thresholds that really matter, a renovation wave, improving delinquency numbers, new scoring models, and listing data going national.
And now we pivot to health, because the same theme keeps following us. The biggest problems often don't scream, they whisper. Let's start with silent issues. Experts are warning that vitamin B12 deficiency and kidney disease can show up with subtle signs that don't seem connected to the real cause. That's what makes them dangerous. The symptoms can feel random, easy to dismiss, or easy to blame on stress or age. Right, it's that pattern where you don't think this could be medical. You think, I'm tired, or I'm just off lately, or I'm not sleeping well. And in the background, something more serious could be developing while you're busy powering through your day.
Then there's heart health, where the stakes are obvious, but the warning signs still aren't. Cardiologists are pointing to a single habit change that could cut heart disease risk by as much as 50%. Think about that. One change, potentially half the risk.
And they're also flagging the hidden signs of a silent heart attack. That phrase alone should make anyone pause. Because most of us picture a heart attack as a dramatic scene, but real life can be quieter. Symptoms that are mild, weird, or easy to ignore until the moment has passed.
Now for the part that feels like science fiction, except it's happening. Researchers are using AI to invent new drugs. Not just to optimize what already exists, but to open doors for conditions like Parkinson's and to fight antibiotic-resistant superbugs. Superbugs are one of those threats that doesn't always get daily attention, but the danger is straightforward. Bacteria evolving faster than our medicines. When antibiotics stop working, routine infections can become serious again. The idea that AI could help design new treatments is huge.
And it's not just in the lab. Pharma leaders are saying AI is reshaping the entire pipeline. How companies decide which drugs to pursue, how they identify candidates, how quickly they can test and refine ideas, and how a new medicine eventually makes it to people who need it. So we've got two worlds moving fast. Housing, rates and rules, risk and opportunity. Health, quiet symptoms, major prevention potential, and AI speeding up discovery. And the through line is that both reward the same mindset.
Don't confuse trending in a good direction with safe to stop paying attention. A slightly lower mortgage rate doesn't cancel out the need for due diligence. A promising AI breakthrough doesn't replace preventative care or paying attention to your body.
Maybe the real skill right now is learning what not to ignore. In money, your credit score, the fine print, the long-term cost. In health, the subtle changes, the small symptoms, the habit you keep postponing. And if you're listening and you feel that pull to rush into a home purchase, into a renovation, into ignoring a strange symptom because you're busy, take this as your pause. The biggest wins and the biggest regrets usually come from the details we almost skipped. We'll leave it there. Keep your eyes open, stay curious, and remember, the quiet signals are often the ones that matter most. Please like, subscribe, and join us at I Am Healthy Money. Life has its ups and downs, but you're not alone. From 2 to 102, we're in this together, right here, right now. We love ya.